The shutter clicked like a heartbeat stuttering in the chaos, freezing Christian's face mid-laugh as his cap sailed into the air. But it was the way his diploma slipped from those long fingers, tumbling end over end into the sun-baked grass of UC Berkeley's Memorial Glade, that gutted me. "Fuck this heat," he growled under his breath, the words slipping out raw and unfiltered amid the whoops and mortarboard tosses, his southern drawl twisting the curse into something almost poetic. And then he turned, locking eyes with me across the sea of black gowns, his smile cracking open like dawn over the bay, crooked, unapologetic, the kind that said he'd burn the world down for a real moment, and every wall I'd stacked around my heart since that shitty coming-out fight with my dad back in Ohio crumbled to dust. I was Alex Rivera, 28 and scraping by as a freelance photographer in the Bay Area grind. The guy you hired for weddings you couldn't afford a pro for or graduations where the official shots needed backup. I'd shot 100 of these ceremonies. Kids in polyester robes sweating under the California sun. Parents snapping blurry iPhone pics. The air thick with that mix of relief and terror that comes when you realize freedom's just another word for, what now? But Christian, he was different. He moved through the crowd like he owned the quad, all lean muscle and easy grace, his dark hair curling at the nape of his neck where the gown rode up. Pre-med major, I'd later learn, from some podunk town in Texas where football was God and anything else got you a one-way ticket to whispers and side-eyes. I lowered my Canon, pretending to fiddle with the lens cap, but my pulse was hammering like I'd mainlined espresso. "Get a grip, Alex. You're here for the gig, not the iFuck." But he was already weaving toward me, gown flapping like a cape, that smile still lingering like he'd caught me stealing glances. Which, shit, I had. "Hey, Shutterbug," he said, voice warm as asphalt after a rain, extending a hand sticky with confetti. "You catch that epic fail? My mom's gonna disown me if the pic shows me fumbling like a freshman." His grip was firm, calloused from what I guessed were late-night lab shifts or pickup basketball on the courts by People's Park. Close. His eyes were hazel flecked with gold, the kind that pulled you in and made you forget your own name. "Alex," I managed, shaking like an idiot. "And nah, I got the money shot. You look like you just conquered Everest." He laughed, a sound that rumbled low in his chest. And for a split second, the world narrowed to the space between us, the cheers fading, the June heat wrapping us in a haze. Christian haze. And bullshit, man. I look like I need a beer and a nap. "You sticking around for the after-party? Kegs in the dorms. Bad decisions guaranteed." I should have said no. I had a drive back to my shoebox apartment in Oakland, edits stacking up on my laptop, and a rule I'd etched in stone after too many one-night regrets. No fishing in the client pond. But his smile tugged at something feral in me, a reminder that I'd buried my queer heart under layers of professional, since Dad's Bible-thumping meltdown when I was 19. "Yeah," I heard myself say. Twist my arm. That night blurred into a haze of cheap IPA and bass-thumping playlists echoing off concrete walls in Unit 2. Christian dragged me into a circle of his buddies. Loudmouth poli-sci kids debating rent control and a quiet artist type sketching caricatures on napkins. He stuck close, knee brushing mine under the folding table, his laugh pulling me into stories of dissecting cadavers at dawn and road tripping to Big Sur on a whim. Roger was there too, his roommate, all golden boy charm with a jawline that could have been chiseled for a frat poster. Broad shoulders, easy grin, the kind of guy who captained the water polo team and volunteered at food banks without breaking a sweat. "Dude, you gotta see Chris's tattoo," Roger slurred at one point, clapping Christian on the back hard enough to slosh his beer. Bird on a wire, right? Symbol of freedom or some poetic crap. Christian shot him a look, playful but edged, like a warning wrapped in velvet, and rolled up his sleeve. There it was, inked black on his forearm. A sparrow mid-flight, wings splayed against a sunset sky. Yeah, or just a reminder not to clip my own wings, he said, eyes flicking to mine, holding just a beat too long. My throat went dry. Freedom. God, I wanted to trace that ink with my tongue, map the stories etched in his skin. By midnight, the party's pulse had slowed to couples sneaking off and stragglers nursing hangovers in waiting. Roger had vanished, something about a hookup in the engineering dorm, and Christian cornered me on the fire escape, the city lights sprawling below like a promise. You know, you're not like the usual fatigs, he said, lighting a cigarette he didn't inhale, just let smolder between his fingers. Most of them are creepy uncles or stressed-out millennials chasing likes. You see shit. Like, really see it. I leaned against the railing, the metal warm under my palms, heart jackhammering. Comes with the job. Or the curse. The air hung heavy, charged with the unspoken. His gaze tracing my jaw, my lips, the way my shirt clung from the humidity. I could smell him. Soap and sweat and that faint Texas earthiness, like hayfields after a storm. He stepped closer, close enough that his breath ghosted my cheek. What's your curse, Alex? His voice dropped, roughened, and when his fingers brushed mine, accidental, deliberate, it was like static igniting gasoline. This, I whispered, and closed the gap. His mouth was soft, yielding, then hungry, tasting of hops and salt and secrets. We kissed like we'd been starving, hands fisting shirts, bodies pressing urgent against the rusted rail. The world fell away, no graduation pomp, no bay fog rolling in, just us, tangled in the raw ache of want. We broke apart gasping, foreheads touching, his laugh shaky against my skin. Well, shit. That escalated. But his eyes were dark, pupils blown wide, and when he pulled me back inside, toward his room with its posters of Kerouac and half-packed boxes, I didn't resist. That night, in the tangle of sheets and whispered confessions, his first time with a guy, my fumbling reassurances, we built something fragile, electric. A beginning. But beginnings in America, especially for guys like us, come with fine print. Christian's phone buzzed at dawn, Roger's name flashing, and he silenced it quick, like it burned. "Roomie check-in," he muttered, but his jaw tightened. I let it slide, chalking it up to post-grad jitters. Little did I know, Roger wasn't just checking in. He was watching, waiting. And in the city by the bay, where dreams glitter like broken glass, betrayals got a way of sneaking up like fog. The next weeks were a fever dream of stolen hours. Christian's lease ended, so he'd crash at my place in Oakland, sneaking in after shifts at the hospital volunteer gig that had him elbow-deep in charts and compassion fatigue. We'd fuck slow and deep on my thrift store couch, or fast and desperate against the kitchen counter. His moans muffled into my shoulder so the neighbors, old Mrs. Patel with her endless chai, wouldn't hear. But it was the quiet moments that hooked me deepest. Him sprawled naked on my bed, tracing patterns on my chest while I edited photos, murmuring about med school apps to Johns Hopkins, the weight of being the golden son from a family where faggot was still a slur hurled at protests. "You're brave as hell," I'd say, meaning it, Because Texas to Berkeley was a leap most guys our age wouldn't survive without scars. He'd snort, hazel eyes softening. Nah. Just stubborn. And you make me want to be more. Then he'd kiss me like I was oxygen, and I'd believe in us. Roger hovered like a shadow, though. Texts piling up on Christian's phone. Where you at, bro? Need a wingman tonight? Innocent enough, but laced with that bro code urgency. I'd met him a few times for coffee runs. Roger's slap on the back always a notch too hard. His laugh booming to fill silences. Chris is lucky, he'd say, clapping my shoulder. Guy like you? Steady. Not like the flakes he used to chase. Flattery or warning, couldn't tell. But when Christian dodged invites to Roger's guys' nights, tension simmered, unspoken. One evening, as summer bled into July heat waves, Christian showed up with takeout from that hole-in-the-wall taqueria on Telegraph, his face stormy. Roger's on my ass about some party. Thinks I'm ghosting the crew cause of. He trailed off, gesturing vaguely at me, at us. I set down my fork, gut twisting. You haven't told him? About us? He winced, running a hand through his hair. It's not that simple, Alex. Roger's my best friend since freshman orientation. Saved my ass when I bombed organic chem. But he's straight-laced. Ex-military family, all that rah-rah patriotism shit. If he knew, it'd complicate everything. Complicate. The word landed like a stone. I'd been there, hiding in closets of my own making, until the splintered door caved in on my parents' farm. Hey, I said softly, pulling him close. I'm not asking for a parade. Just don't let fear call the shots. He nodded, burying his face in my neck. But the seed was planted. Doubt, that American specialty, where love's always one confession from imploding. August hit like a hangover, the kind that sticks in your bones. Christian's med school deferral meant he was hustling temp jobs, phlebotomy gigs at Kaiser, night shifts stocking shelves at Whole Foods, while I chased gigs, corporate headshots in the financial district, quinceañeras in the Mission. Our rhythm was off-kilter, texts flying like lifelines. Miss your ink under my fingers from him at 2 a.m. Dreamt of your laugh echoing in the redwoods from me after a solo hike in Muir Woods. But the gaps widened, silences stretching like rubber bands about to snap. Roger filled them, unwittingly or not. He'd show up unannounced at my door with Christian in tow. All bro-time energy, cracking open beers on my fire escape while Christian fidgeted, shooting me apologetic glances. Roger's got this theory we're in a cult, Christian joked once, but his laugh was forced, the sparrow tattoo flexing as he gripped the railing. Roger, oblivious or playing it, launched into tales of his latest conquest, a barista with sleeve tats and a lip ring, his eyes sliding to Christian like he was gauging a reaction. Jealousy? Protectiveness? In the bromance fog of American masculinity, lines blurred easy. One night, after Roger bailed early for a date, Christian cracked open like a storm front. We were on my bed, sheets twisted from half-hearted sex that felt more like grasping at smoke. He knows something's up, he admitted, voice muffled against my pillow. Keeps asking why I'm distant, like, dude, life's changing. But yeah, it's us. I propped on an elbow, tracing the curve of his spine. Tell him. Rip the Band-Aid. You're moving cross-country soon. Johns Hopkins ain't forgiving secrets. His shoulders tensed. The old Texas ghosts rising. Family first. Alex. Dad's already side-eyeing my California liberal phase. Mom sends passive-aggressive psalms about straying paths. Roger. He's the buffer. The one who gets it without judging. Until he does. The words slipped out sharper than I meant. Born from my own scar tissue. Dad's pray it away sermons. Mom's tearful silences. I'd rebuilt in the Bay. Brick by queer brick. But watching Christian shrink under invisible weights, clawed at me. He rolled over, eyes searching mine. You think I'm ashamed? Hurt flickered there, raw as an open wound. Of you? Fuck no. You're the best thing since air conditioning in August. But this world, it chews up guys like us if we shout too loud. I kissed him then, fierce and forgiving, tasting the salt of unspoken fears. We made love like atonement, slow rolls of hips, gasps swallowed whole, until exhaustion claimed us, tangled in limbs and half-dreams of a future where labels didn't sting. But futures are fragile as fog. 2 weeks later, the text came while I was mid-shoot at a tech conference in Palo Alto. Party at Rogers tonight. Come through, need you there. From Christian, with a winky emoji that didn't land right. I wrapped early, nerves jangling like loose change. Rogers' place was a converted Victorian in Temescal, sagging porch and fairy lights strung like drunken stars. Music thumped, some indie playlist with too much Bon Iver, and the air reeked of weed and grilled sausages from the backyard. Christian spotted me first, weaving through the crowd in a faded UCT that hugged his chest, pulling me into a hug that lingered south of friendly. You made it, he murmured, breath hot against my ear. Thought you'd bail for edits. Wouldn't miss saving you from bad beer. I quipped, but my eyes scanned for Roger. There he was, holding court by the keg, laughing with a cluster of ex-teammates. His polo stretched tight over biceps honed from ocean swims. When his gaze landed on us, sharpened, appraising, almost predatory. The night unraveled in fits. Shots of tequila that burned like regret. Christian's hand finding mine under the picnic table. Roger's toasts to new chapters that felt pointed. By 11, the party's edge turned sloppy. Couples grinding in corners. A tipsy game of flip cup devolving into spills and shouts. Christian vanished to the bathroom, leaving me with Roger, who sidled up with 2 fresh solos. Alex, right? The fatigue wizard. His smile was all teeth. Grip on my cup too tight. Chris raves about your shots. Says you captured his soul or some artsy shit. I chuckled. Uneasy. High praise. He's got a good eye himself. Roger's laugh boomed, but his eyes didn't join. Yeah, well, he's blind to a lot lately. Distracted. You notice, the question hung, barbed. I sipped, stalling. Grad stress. We all go through it. He leaned in, voice dropping to that locker room timbre. Nah, man. It's deeper. Like he's hiding a whole-ass life. You too. Close? Yeah. He talked to you. My gut clenched. This was the bro code probe. The subtle vetting. Close enough. Why? You worried. Roger's jaw ticked. A muscle jumping. Always. Been looking out for him since day one. Texas boy in the Wild West. Gets lost easy. He clapped my shoulder. Hard enough to jolt. Just keep him straight. Figuratively. The wink was oil on water, and as he sauntered off, I tasted bile. Warning shot fired. Christian reappeared, flushed and grinning, oblivious. "Dance with me." He tugged me toward the makeshift floor in the living room, bodies swaying to a slowed-down Hosier track. We moved like we were alone, his hips grinding subtle against mine, my hands low on his waist, the heat building like a promise. For a stolen song, it was perfect, sweat-slick skin, his lips brushing my neck in the dim, the world a blur of possibility. Then the crash literal. A drunk pledge knocked the speaker, bass cutting to static, and Roger was there, yelling over the din. "Yo! Hayes! Front yard! Now, fireworks run!" Christian hesitated, glancing at me, but Roger grabbed his arm, hauling him out with that unbreakable bro pull. I followed at a distance, weaving through the throng to the porch. They were arguing, voices low but heated under the string lights. "Telling you, it's bullshit," Roger hissed. Back to me, Christian's face pale in the glow. "You're throwing it all away for what? Some phase?" Christian's voice cracked, desperate. "It's not a phase, Rog. It's me. Finally fucking me." The words landed like shrapnel. Roger spun, spotting me in the shadows, his face twisting shock, then fury, then something darker, like possession shattered. "You," he spat, advancing. "This you're doing? Turning my best friend into this?" Time fractured. Christian shoved between us. "Back off, man!" But Roger's fist was already swinging wild, fueled by tequila and buried truths. Clipped my jaw, stars exploding behind my eyes, and I tasted blood, copper sharp. Chaos erupted, shouts, hands pulling us apart. Christian's arms around me, his "I'm sorry" a mantra against my temple. We stumbled to my car, the party a fading roar, his hands trembling as he dabbed at my split lip with his shirt hem. "He didn't mean it," Christian whispered, but we both knew the lie. Roger's punch wasn't just for me. It was for the mirror Christian held up, reflecting cracks in their brotherhood. That night, in the ER waiting room, stitches for me, ice for his knuckles, we sat in brittle silence. "I should have told him sooner," he finally said, head in hands. "Now it's poison." I squeezed his knee, the fluorescent buzz mocking us. "Truth's a bitch, but it's yours. Own it." He looked up, eyes shattered glass. "With you?" "Yeah. I want that." We drove home to Oakland in the witching hour, the Bay Bridge lights streaking like tears. In bed, he held me fierce, apologies woven into touches, but sleep evaded. Dawn crept in, gray and unforgiving, and with it, the first crack in our foundation. A voicemail from Christian's mom, voice tight with Texas steel. "Honey?" Roger's mom called. Said there's concerns. "We need to talk." The betrayal wasn't Roger's alone. It was a chain reaction, American as apple pie, secrets spilling like dominoes in the land of the free, where love's liberty comes at the price of blood. September unfurled like a bad sequel, the Berkeley Hills turning gold as Christian's world tilted on its axis. Roger's punch became legend in their circle, whispers of straight guy meltdown at coffee shops, side-eyes at the co-op where they used to raid bulk bins for trail mix. But the real fallout was private, corrosive. Radio silence from Roger, his text to Christian a graveyard of unread "We good? Please." Christian wore the guilt like a hair shirt, pacing my apartment, med school essays abandoned on the coffee table amid pizza boxes and my half-processed Lightroom files. It's my fault, he'd mutter, brewing endless pots of Pete's dark roast, the steam curling like accusations. Pushed him too far, hid too long. Brothers before. Whatever. I'd pull him down, straddle his lap on the worn armchair, kiss the doubt from his lips until he melted, hands roaming desperate. Brothers don't clock their friends, I'd counter, nipping his earlobe. That's fear talking. Yours or his. Sex was our refuge, a liturgy of bodies affirming what words couldn't. His cock hard against my thigh, my name a prayer on his tongue as I rode him slow, drawing out gasps that echoed off exposed brick. Afterward, slick and spent, he'd trace my bruise-fading jaw, whispering futures, Baltimore row houses, shared residency shifts, a life where Texas twang met Midwest grit in some hybrid American dream. I believed him, or wanted to, because in those moments, we were unbreakable. But cracks spiderwebbed. His phone became a minefield. Voicemails from home piling up. Mom's drawl sharpening to "We're worried. Christopher. Roger's family says you've changed. Come home for Labor Day. Clear the air." Dad's gruff non sequiturs. Men handle their business face to face. Son. Christian deleted them, but the weight lingered, bending him. I threw myself into work, booking a string of gigs, a queer pride shoot in the Castro, where rainbow flags snapped like heartbeats, a family portrait in Marin, all waspy perfection hiding their own closets. Snapping the shutter grounded me, each click a reminder. I'd survived my own implosion at 19, Dad's "You're no son of mine" still echoing in nightmares. If Christian needed time, I'd give it. Love wasn't a deadline. Then Roger resurfaced, uninvited, on a crisp Saturday when I was out framing prints at Kinko's. Christian texted mid-panic, "He's here. Help." I raced back, tires squealing on MacArthur, bursting into the apartment to find them in the kitchen. Roger perched on a stool, face haggard under that perpetual 5 o'clock shadow. Christian rigid by the sink, arms crossed like armor. Not about you, man," Roger was saying, voice hoarse, a six-pack sweating on the counter as peace offering. "It's the lie. Felt like I didn't know you. After everything, pledge week, that flu that nearly killed you, me covering your shifts, we're family. And you just pivot to this without a heads up." Christian's laugh was bitter, edged with exhaustion. Pivot? Jesus. Rog. It's not a career change. This is who I am. Always was. You think I woke up one day and decided to torch our friendship? I hovered in the doorway, invisible for a beat, until Roger's eyes flicked to me. Wary, wounded. "Alex. Didn't see you there." No handshake, just a nod stiff as starched khakis. "Bad timing?" I asked, voice neutral, sliding beside Christian. His hand found mine under the counter, a lifeline. "Nah," Roger said, popping a top, foam spilling like overpour. "Just clearing debris. Chris and me. We go back. Can't let one bender nuke it." Christian deflated, shoulders slumping. "Then don't. But accept it. All of it. Including him." He squeezed my fingers. A declaration. Roger's gaze darted between us, something unreadable flashing. Regret? Resentment? He drained half the can. Adam's apple bobbing. "Look," I overreacted. "Macho bullshit. You know?" Dad's voice in my head. "All protect the pack. But punching you," he met my eyes, First real apology in there. Fucked up. Beers on me forever. We clinked awkwardly. Christian's relief palpable. My wariness a low hum. The afternoon thawed into uneasy truce. Old stories swapped. Roger's tales of water polo hazing met with Christian's lab horror flicks. I played wingman, laughing on cue, but watched Roger's glances linger on Christian a touch too long, proprietary under the bromance veneer. When he left, hug for Chris, fist bump for me. The air lightened, but the scent of his cologne hung, a ghost. That night, we celebrated the mending with rooftop wine under Orion's sprawl. Christian's head on my shoulder. City hum a lullaby. Think he's good, he murmured, fingers interlaced. He's trying, I said, honest. Aren't we all? But trying's a thin ice in queer America, where reconciliation's just prelude to round two. October brought rain, lashing the bay like judgment, and with it, Christian's family touchdown. They flew in for a surprise visit. Mom with her Tupperware of brisket, Dad in Wranglers and an Astros cap, eyes scanning the liberal taint of Berkeley like it was Sodom. Roger, ever the mediator, hosted the welcome dinner at his Temescal crash pad, a spread of barbecue and awkward grace. I wasn't invited. Keep it low-key, Christian pleaded over breakfast, his anxiety a live wire. First meet's gotta be smooth. No curveballs. The exclusion stung. A fresh bruise on old ones. I'm the curveball? I shot back, coffee mug slamming harder than meant. His face crumpled. No, God. No. You're the home run. But Dad. He's old school. One step at a time. I nodded, swallowing the acid. Your call. Just don't forget. I'm not going anywhere. He kissed me goodbye at the door. Lingering, tongue-tracing promise. Love you, Alex. This is temporary. Temporary. The word echoed as I wandered the farmer's market alone. Heirloom tomatoes heavy in my basket. The multiracial hum of Oakland a bomb. But doubt festered. Fed by Roger's midday text to Christian. Forwarded accidentally. Tell me if I need to run interference. Family first. Bro. Ally or warden. Couldn't shake the chill. Dinner devolved. Per Christian's late-night debrief. Dad's barbs about coastal elites. Mom's probing on that nice Roger. Such a steady boy. Christian held firm. No mentions of me. But the sparrow tattoo itched under his sleeve. A talisman of truths half-spoken. Roger played buffer flawlessly. Charming Dad with army tales. Diffusing Mom with compliments on her pie. Earning nods of approval that twisted my gut. He's golden, Christian said. Collapsing beside me in bed. Rain pattering the window like fingers. Saved the night, but salvation's slippery. Days later, as leaves turned, Roger cornered Christian at a gym session, weights clanging, sweat stinging eyes. Your folks love me, he texted after. Screenshot shared in triumph. But they worry. That photic dude. He's cool. But is he, for the long haul, the seed, planted deep? Christian brushed it off. Roger's projecting. But I saw the waver. The way his gaze drifted when I talked forever. Love in America, fireworks and fine print. Where loyalty's tested in the quiet corrosions. By Halloween, the storm broke. Christian's acceptance to Hopkins arrived. Full ride. Dream deferred no more. We celebrated with pumpkin ale at a Castro bar. Drag queens lip-syncing Gaga. The crowd a riot of glitter and grit. He pulled me into a dark booth, hand down my jeans, whispering, "We're doing this. You and me, East Coast bound." Ecstasy, short-lived. Back home, his phone lit up, Roger's voice, slurred from a frat reunion bender. "Chris, man, I gotta say it. Seeing you with him kills me. Always thought it'd be us, you know? Brothers to the end. Maybe more. But now, you're slipping away." The recording cut, but the damage bloomed. Christian's face drained of color, staring at the screen like it had bitten him. What? Betrayal. Unmasked. Not just a punch, but a confession. Roger's buried crush, twisted into sabotage. The party invite, the family buffer, all veils for a jealousy that festered since orientation. When Christian's smile first lit on someone else. Me. November's chill seeped into our bones, the bay's relentless gray mirroring the frost between Christian and Roger. He ghosted his best friend. No calls, no gym hangs, just blocks on socials and a locked door to the past. "It's too much," Christian confessed one fog-shrouded morning, bundled in my hoodie on the BART platform, commuters shuffling like zombies. He crossed a line. Made it. Dirty. I nodded, arm around his waist, the train's rumble vibrating our regrets. Jealousy's a thief. Stole his clarity, almost stole you, but inside, triumph warred with pity. Roger, the golden boy, crumbling under unrequited ache. American tragedy. Love unspoken, exploding in collateral fire. We leaned into us, fierce as frostbite. I booked a weekend in Yosemite, his pre-departure gift, driving the winding 120 in my rattling Civic, mixtape of Lucero and Ryan Bingham blasting twangy anthems. The valley unfolded like scripture. El Cap looming granite sentinel, Merced River whispering secrets. We hiked Mist Trail, mist indeed soaking us to skin. Christian's laugh echoing off granite as he splashed me, carefree for the first time in weeks. Nights in a canvas tent at Curry Village, zipping into sleeping bags that became one cocoon. "Remember our first night?" he murmured, fingers mapping my ribs by headlamp glow. Fire escape, city lights. Felt like flying. "Still does," I replied, pulling him atop me, the air crisp with pine and promise. We made love urgent, primal, his body arching under mine, gasps fogging the nylon, the world reduced to slick slides and shared breath. Afterward, stars wheeling overhead through the mesh. He talked dreams. Baltimore's harbors. Our apartment with bay windows for my darkroom. Weekends sailing the Chesapeake. "You'll come, right? Shoot the Ivy League preppies. Hate it. Love me more." My heart clenched. Try stopping me, but the question lingered unspoken. Would family follow? Texas ties, frayed but familial, tugged hard. Back in the bay, reality reasserted. Mom's emails escalated. "We're proud, but confused. Roger's mom says you've cut him off." "What's happening, son?" Dad's calls curt. "Man up, Christopher. Fix your messes." Christian fielded them like grenades, voice steady but eyes hollow. Roger tried outreach. A handwritten letter slipped under my door, scrawled in block letters. I fucked up. Punched the wrong guy, said the wrong shit. Chris is family. You are now too. Let me make it right. Christian read it aloud, tone flat. Pathetic, but he didn't burn it. folding it into a drawer like a talisman or toxin. Thanksgiving loomed, a gauntlet. Christian flew home solo, one last normal holiday, leaving me to Oakland's orphan potlucks, turkey tetrazzini with queer found family at a warehouse party in West Oakland. Texts trickled, Mom's pecan pie sleighs. Dad grilled steaks. Miss your sarcasm. Then, radio silence, broken by a midnight call, his voice thick. It's bad, Alex. They know. Roger. He told them. Everything. The line crackled, my world tilting. What? How? Sob story over turkey. Your boy's gone Hollywood, chasing shadows, painted you as the villain, me as lost. Dad flipped, Bible quotes, threats to pull funding. Mom cried. I walked out. Fuck. I gripped the phone, vision blurring. Rain lashed the window, mirroring the storm. Where are you? Airport hotel. Flight at dawn. Coming back. To you. He landed at SFO midday, haggard in rumpled flannel, duffel slung heavy. I met him curbside. No words. Just embrace. His face buried in my neck. Sobs muffled against wool. We drove in silence. Hands clasped over the console. The Golden Gate veiled in mist like a shroud. That night, storm raging outside my apartment. Truths poured. Curled on the couch. Whiskey burning throats. He unpacked the wreckage. Dad's disgrace to the name. Moms, we love you, but pray for guidance. Roger's teary apology at the airport. I was scared, man, of losing you. Met with Christian's ice. You already did. And me? I asked. Voice small. Where do I fit in the rubble? He cupped my face. Thumbs tracing jaw. Center. Always. This is my fight now. For us. We sealed it in bed. Bodies a bulwark, him on knees. Mouth worshipful. My fingers knotted in his hair as release shattered me. Then switch. Me deep inside him. Slow thrusts building to frenzy. His cries a catharsis. Love you, he gasped. Climax ripping through. And I followed, collapsing entwined. But holidays haunt. December dawned brittle. Hopkins orientation looming January. Roger persisted. Flowers at my door, lilies. Ironic for funerals. Voicemails pleading mediation. Christian relented to a coffee meet at Phil's on Shattuck. Neutral ground amid the hiss of pour-overs. I waited across the street. Lens trained discreet. Professional habit. Or paranoia. They hugged awkward. Words lost in bustle. Roger's posture slumped. Penitent. Christian's rigid. Then softening. Half hour in. A hand on arm comfort. Concession. My shutter clicked silent. Capturing the fracture heel. He debriefed after. He's sorry. Really. Wants to be the friend again. No strings. And, my tone sharper than steam. Christian sighed. Stirring sugar. I said time. But. He's family too. Messy. Broken family. Jealousy. Unbidden. Flared. After the sabotage? The coming out bomb. Easier to forgive blood. He admitted. Eyes down. Or chosen blood. The admission chilled. A prelude. Christmas we did low-key tree from a lot on San Pablo. String lights and takeout dim sum. But his phone buzzed festive. Roger's group chat invite. Crew Secret Santa. No grudges. Christian hesitated. Then joined. Laughing at memes of elf-costumed bros. New Year's. We rang in at a house party in the Haight. Fireworks over Hippie Hill. Kiss at midnight. Champagne sharp. Is this year ours a vow? But dawn brought hangover truths. Hopkins paperwork finalized. Flights booked. Visit soon, he promised. Packing boxes. We'll figure the rest. I nodded, throat tight. Rest. The invisible tether of distance. Family. The ghost of Roger. January's goodbye at SFO was cinematic cruelty. Hugs prolonged. Tears swallowed. His see you in 2 weeks, a lie we both tasted. Plane taxied. And loneliness crashed. Vast as the Pacific. Weeks blurred. My gigs piling. His texts sparse amid snowed-in Baltimore. Orientations intense. Miss your hands. Then, a photo. Him at a harbor bar. Arms slung around a classmate. Innocent. Bro hug. But the caption pinged radar. New crew. Old vibes. At Roger Hayes would approve. Roger. The name. A splinter. I scrolled his feed, reposted from Christians. Gym selfies. Cryptic quotes on loyalty's bite. Had they reconciled midair? Coffee turned calls. Calls to visits? Doubt fermented. Valentine's. Card arrived, handmade. His scrawl. Sparrow flies to you. But enclosed. A second note. Slipped. Rog says hi. He's coming east next month. Bridge burning? Not. Building. Love. See. The burn was internal. Roger. The phoenix. Rising on my ashes. End of file 4. File 5. Words. 1000. February's freeze gripped Baltimore. But the real cold was the drift. Christian's updates shifted less us. More medlife. Dissections at dawn. Pub crawls with the gang. Roger's impending visit glossed as wingman duty. I flew east for a long weekend. Nerves frayed as the red eye. Landing in BWI to his hug. Fierce. Familiar. But his eyes held shadows. Exhaustion etched deeper than ink. Our Airbnb in Fells Point was a cobblestone charmer. Gas lamp glow and oyster smells wafting from harborside dives. Missed this, he breathed, tumbling us into bed, clothes shedding like inhibitions. Reunion sex was ravenous, him pinning me to the headboard, thrusts punishing the miles, my nails raking his back as we crested together, sweat slick and sated. You're my anchor, he panted, collapsing, fingers tracing my collarbone. But anchors drag. Saturday brunch at a Federal Hill cafe. Mimosas bubbling. He dropped the bomb casual. Roger's flying in tomorrow. Thinks East Coast needs his surf lessons or some shit. I speared avocado toast. Fork aggressive. Surf? In February? Or just recon? His laugh was forced. Hazel eyes dodging. Come on, Alex. He's trying. We talked, really talked. About the punch, the jealousy. He's owning it. Therapy, even. Wants to meet you proper. Bury the hatchet. Hatchet. The word evoked scalps, not olive branches. Proper? After he outed you to your folks? Bombed our first holiday. Christian's jaw set. That Texas stubbornness flaring. People fuck up. Forgive. Move on. Like you tell me to with Dad. Touché. Stinging. I swallowed retort. The brunch souring to silence. We wandered Inner Harbor after, him snapping selfies by the aquarium. Me framing shots of rusted ships. The Patapsco churning gray. That night, dinner at a crab shack. mallets cracking shells like facades. He softened. I love you. This us is endgame. Roger's just history. History has ghosts. Sunday. Roger arrived windswept from LAX. Duffel slung. Grin megawatt as he bear-hugged Christian at arrivals. East Coast bitch. You surviving the snowpocalypse. Close. He was broader. Sun-bleached hair tousled. But the eyes blue. Piercing held that old possession. Masked now in charm. Alex. My man. He extended a hand. Grip testing. Heard you captured the grad magic. Legend. I shook. Neutral. Water under. Or beer. We three toured Lexington Market for crab cakes. A Ravens tailgate vibe at a dive bar despite off-season. Roger dominated. Tales of Cali escapades. Med school ribbing for Christian. Compliments laced subtle. Alex. You got that quiet strength. Chris needs that. But his knee bumped Christian's under the high top once. Twice. Accidental. The bar's neon buzzed tension. And when Roger toasted to second chances. His gaze locked on Christian, lingering south of Fraternal. That night, post-dinner at our Airbnb, Roger crashing on the couch. Saving hotel bucks, the air thickened. Christian and I retreated to the bedroom. Door clicked shut, but whispers carried. Roger's low murmur through the wall. Proud of you, bro. Even if it's complicated. Then silence. Heavy. Couldn't sleep. Jealousy a fever. Slipping out for water. I caught them, Roger and Christian in the kitchenette. Dawn light filtering. Roger's hand on Christian's shoulder. Thumb brushing collar in a caress too intimate. Christian pulled away, but the damage etched. Spark reignited? Or embers banked? Monday. Roger gone. Hug for me perfunctory. For Christian lingering I confronted. Airport shuttle idling. His flight boarding soon. What was that? Kitchen midnight special? He blinked. Denial flashing. Water run. Nothing. Bullshit. His hand, your pause. If there's unfinished. No. Vehement. Ice fierce. Roger's past. Your future. Swear it. He kissed me then. Desperate. Tasting of goodbye and salt. Call when you land. Love you. But calls faltered, his rotations swallowing days. My gigs nights. Texts. Miss you. Rog checked in, wants to visit again. Then, a photo. Group shot at a Hopkins mixer. Christian Center. Roger photobombed in from Cali. Arms slung casual. March storm hit biblical. Rain lashing Oakland. Thunder cracking like verdicts. Christian's call came midnight my time. 3 a.m. His voice wrecked. Alex. I fucked up. The words. A chasm. Tell me. Rog came back. Unannounced. Said he needed to fix us. One thing led. We kissed. Stupid. Drunk on nostalgia. Pushed him away. But. God. I'm sorry. Betrayal. Sharp as scalpels. Nostalgia? Or spark? Spark died years ago. It was him clinging. Me weak. But you. Me. Rage boiled. Hot as the bay fog. I'm the placeholder? While you play house with your ex-bro crush. No. Alex. Please. The line went dead. My thumb slamming end. Days blurred vengeful. Deleting photos. Blocking numbers. Gigs shot through a haze of hurt. He flooded voicemails. Please. Poems. I choose you. Roger texted once, "My bad. Won't happen again. He's yours." As if permission sufficed. April bloomed cruel, cherry blossoms mocking. I flew east unannounced. Rage my co-pilot, landing in Baltimore's drizzle. His dorm sterile, books stacked like barricades. He opened the door, wrecked, unshaven, eyes red-rimmed. "Alex!" startled, then crumbling into embrace. We fought in whispers, storm outside mirroring within, accusations hurled. "You let him in!" Defenses cracked. I was scared. Alone. Rain pounded. And in the fury, truth surfaced. His family therapy sessions. Dad's tentative "we try." Mom's emails softening. Roger's full retreat. Therapy mandated distance. "Why me?" Then, I demanded, chest heaving. "If it's so messy?" "Because you see me," he choked. Tears carving paths. Not the son. The bro. The med student. Me the sparrow. Wings and all. I broke us 'cause I feared losing them. But losing you? Unbearable. The dam burst. I pulled him close. Kiss salt sour. Bodies colliding in absolution. Frantic undressing. Him on knees in the hall. Mouth fervent apology. Me lifting him to the desk. Entering slow. Eyes locked as we rebuilt. Thrust by thrust. Climax a shared sob. After. Tangled in his narrow bed. Rain easing to patter. We mapped repairs. Couples counseling via Zoom. Roger's permanent fade. Family boundaries drawn bold. "Human," he whispered, tracing my heart. "We're human. Flawed. Flying." May graduation loomed his full circle. I flew back. Camera slung. Heart mended fragile. The ceremony. Him striding stage. Diploma gripped tight. No slips this time. Our eyes met across the quad. His smile crooked. Defiant, shattering guards anew. Post-ceremony. Under memorial glade oaks. Roger appeared, peripheral. A nod from afar. Then gone. Closure. Unneeded. Christian pulled me aside. Ring box palmed. Simple silver. Engraved sparrow. Not proposal. Promise. Marry the mess with me? Tears pricked. Yes. All in. Summer healed. Cross-country drive to Texas. Family dinner where Dad's handshake lingered. Mom's hug warm. Acceptance. Tentative as spring. We settled Baltimore. My darkroom in the basement. His shifts balanced by our nights. Wine and wonders. Love's quiet revolutions. Years folded. Residencies shared. My photo book on queer healers published to acclaim. Roger, distant ally. Wedding invite RSVP'd yes. Speech toasting the better man. Betrayal scar faded. Humanizing us all. In America's vast, bruised heart, we flew, not unbroken, but bold. His smile, still my shatter. Our story, not fairy tale, but real, dramatic, emotional, romantic, humane. A gay odyssey, etched in light and shadow, proving love's guards rebuild stronger, one crooked grin at a time.